Welcome to Holistic Human Performance Podcast. My name is Gena Bradshaw, where we talk all things holistic health, wellness, spirituality, fitness, meditation, energetics, and so much more to help you become the healthiest version of yourself. Let's dive in. This is not medical advice. This is simply to help you on your journey through health, fitness, and wellness. I hope this helps. You can complement this with anything that you are doing currently in your life. Enjoy. Ever find it super difficult to integrate these holistic tools and modalities, and you really just don't know where to start? Well, I got you covered. It's been a long time coming, and it's finally gotten to this place where I can really be wherever and whenever you need me to be. And that's why I created the Holistic Human Performance Virtual Wellness Center. The cool part about this wellness center is you can take me wherever, whenever you need, filled with meditations, nutrition coaching, exercises, workouts, online courses, all of these things you get in this virtual wellness center. Because let's be real, sometimes it's challenging to be able to integrate these tools and know what to do with them. And not only that, if you are a one-on-one coaching client with me, you have automatic access to this entire virtual wellness center so that you have the tools to do it on your own. And guess what? You're getting a 5-day free trial. So you can find that at www.holistichumanperformance.co/academy. Go get your 5-day free trial. Try it out. Let us know what you think. Enjoy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Holistic Human Performance Podcast. I'm your host, Gena Bradshaw Vitale. Today, we got a little bit of a different look. We're here at Floored Media. Shout out to Jason and the team here. I'm so excited to be filming here. And today, we wanted to just chit chat and talk about becoming an author, my own journey. I just get the question a lot. So I wanted to just share with you guys my journey. I now have 3 books, which is like crazy and wild to even think about. And I'm just excited to get into it. So we started off and I actually did and filmed my audiobook here at Floored Media, A Survivor Story. Excuse me, a holistic healing journey through cancer. Now, this is it. I swear it took us like 10 hours, like no joke. I was here for 10 hours.
You were here for 10 hours.
It literally was so grueling yet so fulfilling at the same time. And we both didn't even know what we were getting into. And when I started, I want to go back. So I published this book in 2021 and I did the audio version of it in 2022. If you are someone who is looking to do the whole thing, like you want to write your book, you want to do the audio version of it, do it at the same time. Like publish it all at the same time. Don't wait, just do it. And the other thing I'll say is I had a little bit of, I guess, fear because I narrated the book myself. It's a nonfiction book. It's my own story. And I know a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, are you going to be speaking? Like, are you the one that's going to be narrating it? So I was like, all right, like, I guess I have to. So I did. And it only felt right. But I did struggle in the beginning, even like making that leap. So part of that was a big healing journey. And one of the tools that I actually came across was emotional freedom technique, aka tapping. So that's when I started to do all of that work and I really started to open up like my voice, my throat chakra, and just be able to speak with confidence and not really think of it as, oh man, like I have to go back in time and like share my story. That tool did it for me. Like I did it over the course of a week prior to recording, and it just like, I came in here and I just did my thing. It was great. So that tool worked so well that I decided to get certified in it, and now I help other people with it. But I knew after that, I was like, all right, I knew that there were going to be more books that I was going to be creating. So now I have 3 books, which is so cool. But, you know, a lot of people ask me the question, like, how did you get started? What made you want to write a book? And I said, all right, let's just do a whole episode on it. So it actually started with a very low moment in my life. It was 2020 when all hell was breaking loose in the world. And I had to go for an annual oncology checkup. For those of you who don't know, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. You can go check out the first episode of this podcast. I share all of that in there, but normal checkup, nothing to be concerned about. And I noticed one of the nurses' face completely changed. And they like found something. So I freaked out. I literally had an panic attack in the middle of the room. And I ended up leaving. I went to my car. I was literally having a full-blown like anxiety breakdown. And in the midst of that breakdown, I got this sense of just like peace washing over me. And all of a sudden, I got a download that was like, write a book. And I just stopped crying. I'm like, what? And it was like this, it was such a clear, loud voice in my head. And I was like, okay, this is kind of where I talk about listening to your intuition and, you know, all the things I teach and, you know, bring my clients through. And I said, okay, it took some time. So again, that was in 2020. And I had signed up for this speaking engagement with another like nonprofit cancer organization, and it was like digital. And throughout the presentation, like I broke it down, and obviously it was all about my holistic healing journey and all the things that I integrated into my life that helped me get to this point. And now I received back and they rejected it. They were like, well, not everybody's on board with the holistic lifestyle. And I was like, okay. And then it hit me again, that intuitive download. And it was like, these are the chapters to your book. So the presentation that I had, I looked at it and I said, oh my gosh, these are the chapters. So I literally opened up a Word document and I just started writing. Like I got into this flow. I didn't even know what it was called at the time, but it's called automatic writing. And I just started writing. I was crying while I was writing, like so much blood, sweat, and tears went into this book. I can't even describe. And it was one of those things where it was to help myself for sure. I didn't have this intention of like, oh, like I want to make a bunch of money, which I'm going to tell you right now, if you're someone who wants to write a book and your intention is, I want to write this to make a lot of money, good luck. Good luck to you, because that intention is not pure and you will not, it won't be successful. Like, I'm just going to say that. So my intention was my own healing journey. I always found that writing was very cathartic and very healing ever since I was a kid. I never had the intention of becoming an author one day. Like that was never a dream of mine. I was a science major, but I was always good at writing. So I took that, ran with it. And so I broke it down into chapters. And then after I was like, okay, now what? So I started doing research and looking into different publishers. How do you get your book published? There are a couple of ways. So there are, I would say, 3 ways that I've learned. Number 1, self-publishing is big in today's world. And that is how I published my first book. It was through a company. So that was self-publishing, where they help you with everything. Illustrators, breaking down the book content and how it's measured inside of the book, the inseam, and what's interesting is I had no idea like what the inside of the book was going to look like, but I knew what the cover was going to look like. I had dreams about it, and the dreams that I had, like I described this to the publisher that I was working with and the illustrator, and it came out even better than I even thought of. So went through that whole process, which was pretty fast. Like, you know, you have to like make sure that you're 100% in on it. And then it was published, I believe, December 2nd of 2021, ebook and paperback. It's pretty, I think it's like 82 pages. And I published the book and I was like, okay, now what? You have to market yourself. You have to be able to speak about your journey, speak about your book. So that was a lot of inner work that I had to do when it came to sharing my story, but being confident with sharing my story without being emotional. So like, obviously there's emotion when I share it, but not getting emotional. So that was a lot of work. And then immediately as I was done with this book, I knew I was going to be writing more. Like I knew I was going to be creating more. And so, yeah, that kind of kicked off my whole writing journey so much that I wanted to teach people how to do this. And so I created something called Divine Authors and Automatic Writing Series. I have that inside of the Virtual Wellness Center. It's about 4 different classes, kind of like a master class to teach people. It's not really about like the technical aspect of writing. Like it doesn't matter if you have a literary background or not. It's about what are you willing, like are you willing to be authentic? Are you willing to be raw? I write nonfiction, so you know that requires research and all those different aspects of it and sharing my own story, being vulnerable. If you are someone who's writing fiction, you need to do research in that industry, that genre, and then go from there. And then I kind of just really immersed myself into different writing groups, different networking groups, different author groups. I'm a part of the Long Island Authors group. Shout out to them. I really enjoy being a part of that group. And it's just nice to chat with other people who are on the same wavelength, who also want help, vice versa, and just like being creative, sharing ideas. And so yeah, that's kind of like my writing journey in a nutshell. And then people were suggesting that I do an Audible version of it. And I also was doing my research. I was like, I should probably do an Audible version of it. And then I came across Jason and Floored Media, and I had no idea what was entailed in doing an Audible version of this. I was like, oh, it's only 82 pages, it'll be fine. It was about 10 hours. It was about 10 hours, right?
It was about 10 hours.
What was that process like for you?
I should have probably asked you how long the book was before I agreed to do it. But then again, there was a learning curve. It was fun, but I got to listen to the whole book in these headsets, real time. And it wasn't bad. I feel like the worst part was at the end with Audible, trying to hit that sweet spot of the volume it wanted to accept all the chapters. But other than that, I mean, listen, I got a private reading of a book by the author straight through.
That's so cool.
Now, people pay for that, right?
Yeah, they do. Like, I mean, it was such a cool experience. Don't worry, with my 4th book coming out, it's going to be much longer. So get ready for that. So in that process, it taught me so much, and we just had fun with it. We had a good time. We went to Dirty Taco. We got some food. It was a good time.
It was a good time.
And it really like helped me to work on like my voice and actually being confident in my story and the way that I was depicting it. And then, from there after I was like, I want to create more. Like, this is fun. So then I created some journals. So I have the daily journal, self-development, gratitude, and growth. And then this one I just published a couple weeks ago. This one is the wellness journal to help you on your health and wellness journey, to keep you on track with your goals. Especially, every time I create something, whether it be a digital product or a book, it's feedback from the people that are like, hey, I need help with this. And so I'm solving a problem, right? I'm finding a solution to their problem. And this is the way that I do it in a creative aspect. And I'm able to share that with so many people. So let's actually get into, so let's go back to the 3 different ways that you can publish.
Well, I didn't want to go back to something else.
Okay, what?
Because you're like a machine.
Yeah.
Because it's been 2 years since you've been here. And then within those 2 years, you had only 1 book.
Yeah.
Now you have 3 books.
3. Yeah.
Isn't that kind of crazy for someone to just be blasting out books like that, or is that?
I guess I'm crazy.
Is that normal? I don't know. I'm not a bookie. Is that a normal thing?
I just think people are lazy. I just think people, like, if you know what it is, it's the laziness. And, sorry guys, I'm very blunt. Like, I'm so sorry. I think it's also the fact that people let fear get in the way of them going after what they want. So like I wrote the first book, and then in 2022, I created my business, Holistic Human Performance, which is an extension of me. It's to help people reclaim their health and to find their soul's purpose. So it's a holistic health and spiritual wellness business that these are all of my experiences, my learnings, my teachings that have completely changed my life. And now I want to share that with you all. And again, I see this all the time. People let fear get in the way of them being able to create the things they want to create, start the business, write the book, do the thing, public speaking. Yes, there's fear there. Like I definitely have fear, but I don't let it stop me from doing what I want to do and creating these, like when you hear the feedback from other people of how much your work has helped them, like, how can you stop? Like, I just can't.
I don't have fear because it's like, I have, like on social, I have people like lighting me up in comments all over the place. So it's not a fear thing. I'm an overthinker. So I am my own worst enemy. Like, I will think about something and how to do it so much that I'll never actually do it.
Yeah. And that's what happens too. Like, a lot of people. So this is where the thought work comes in. And that's also what I help people with. So I used to have this perfectionist. Like, I used to be a perfectionist and an overthinker. Type A, like, this is part of just, I don't know, I'm the oldest child of 5. Like, maybe that's why. I don't know. Athlete, like, just wanting it to be absolutely perfect. That will actually destroy you. When you're overthinking and you're too much in your mental space, I always tell people, did you do your thought work today? Did you work on your mindset today? So that's where the tools that I teach come in. So like the meditation, the breath work, the sound healing, exercise. Are you moving your body? Are you nourishing your body? Are you fueling your mind? That's why people get too much in their head, because they let these old limiting beliefs that they grew up with halt them from doing the thing. Just honestly, I always say, do it imperfectly. Like, who cares if like you're putting it together with scraps? Like, just start, and then you can kind of like work on the details of it. Like, if your intention is pure and you have a why and you have a mission, like, just do it. That's what motivates me. That's like what I think of. And then I think of, okay, like, what value can I add today? And then just hearing the feedback from other people of how much it's helped them. I'm like, okay, I have to just do it. Who cares? Get out of your head and just do it. And that's where writing comes into, where that's very helpful.
Right. I feel like when I edit things too, or if I'm trying to think of a concept of something to, create for something, it's just, I don't know, my brain, because I could do anything. It's like when it comes to writing, you could write anything. So when you start with anything and everything and try to get that down to something, it's just like, I don't know. It's a lot.
Process.
Yeah.
That's where the intuition comes in. So that's where like your body comes in. You have to get out of your head and into your body and listen to what your intuition is telling you. Listen to like your desires. If you have a desire, it's not there for no reason. Like, you're meant to achieve that in this lifetime. And that's what I help people with. It's like, let's get out of your own way. You're in your way. Like, get out of the way.
I'm definitely in my way.
Get out of your way and just do the damn thing.
Okay. Thanks, Coach. All right, let's get back to what you were saying about what you learned about book publishing, and we'll go down that road.
Okay, yeah. So the 3 different ways that you can publish. There's technically 4, but I'll add that in at the end. So number one, self-publishing, and there are so many different companies that do this now for you where they handle soup to nuts everything. So that way, like I wanted a team. That's just I need a team. I wanted a team. I don't want to do it all on my own. I want to be the creative and then let other people, the professionals, do the rest. So that's that. Like, I'm not an illustrator. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't know like what the inseam needs to be in the book. Like, I don't know. So let other people do that. Secondly, you can, let me go back. What's cool about these self-publishing agencies is an investment. Yes. However, like my book, A Survivor Story, is literally in Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, you name it, like any book holder, like you can find it. Secondly, you can then go through KDP, which is through Amazon's publishing, but that is solely on Amazon. So that's where these two journals come in. Like I went through KDP because it costs you nothing. However, off the top, they will take more off of that. So that's something that you have to think about. Like for journals, like that's fine for me. Like that's fine. So that's the second one. The third way, which is the hardest way, is through traditional publishing. So you can, depends on your genre. So you need to know what your genre is. Are you fiction or nonfiction? What's your topic about? And then you want to like narrow it down. You don't want it to be where it's like everything that you've ever learned in one book. No, like get very specific with that book. And then you need to create a book proposal. So this is the process I'm actually going through right now with my fourth book, which is, again, it's kind of like going to be a textbook of all my teachings. That's like much harder. So you have to write a book proposal. And then I think I have sent the book proposal to about 80 different, like publishers and agents, literary agents. Got a lot of no's, but that's okay. It's like, it's very competitive. At the end of the day, I know that my book is going to get out there. Do I know what way? Do I care what way? No, it's going to work out either way. So that's the other way. That takes a lot longer. You can get into different, like networking groups and different, maybe like masterminds, different groups of kind of like where literary agents hang. Where do they hang? So that's like a way to get in as well. Maybe you have a friend who went through a traditional agency and they have a good connect. But that is a lot of legwork. The positive side about that is they do a lot of the marketing for you.
Interesting.
So that's a plus. And then the fourth way is, which is, I guess, kind of new now, is through, let's just say if you have a really high amount of followers, you have a lot of followers, you're very well known in the online space, you're out there, people know your name, a literary agent will contact you and will be like, hey, we want you to write a book on XYZ. Like, what are your thoughts? Now, the downside about going through a traditional agency or, a literary agent contacting you is that you don't have as much creative advantage. It's limited. So that's something that you might have to compromise on. And then you have to really see, like, are you willing to do that? So that's something you really have to do your research, because I know a ton of people who have gone through traditional agencies and they like regret it. Not saying they all do, but like I know people who have sold millions of books and have gone through traditional agencies and they were like, I'll never do that again. So, it kind of depends on that. But that's what I got in terms of how to get your work out there. Again, it takes a lot of inner work on yourself, getting out of your own way to just do the damn thing. Doesn't need to be perfect, but again, like ask questions. And this was highly requested topic, so I figured I'd do a podcast episode on it.
I have a question.
Yes.
the audiobook.
Yes.
Is it worth it? Like, are people finding it? Are people downloading it? Or, how does that even work?
100% worth it. I would do it if you have like a nonfiction book or a fiction-based book. A lot of fiction authors they'll hire a narrator to do it for them. And a lot of nonfiction authors will, like myself, narrate the book, obviously, because it's a lot about their story. I highly suggest doing the audio version of your book because a lot of people don't like to read. They like to listen when they're in the car. I get a lot of downloads from Audible. Wow. It's highly requested. So if you're gonna write a book and you want to publish it all at the same time, I would say that's probably my one. I don't want to call it a mistake because it is what it is. Like we did the damn thing, but do it all at once, like before you actually publish.
It's like release
it all at once. Release the Audible at once. Release the ebook. Release the paperback, hardcover.
Do you think that if you do release it all at the same time, maybe the audiobook will take sales away from the hard?
No, I don't think so.
They don't compete against each other?
No, not really. I think that because I've had people
do both.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. People have contacted me and said, oh, I got your paperback and I got your Audible. Like I have people that do both. Huh. So, I mean, it kind of depends. It really depends. Like I would just say, don't write it off. Don't write it off because you think that other people are not going to do it. Just do it. And if you go through a publisher, they will suggest that also. Does it cost you money? Yeah. Depending on like who you go through. The traditional agency, no, because again, they're going to be marketing. They're going to be doing all that's obviously what people want. But there are pros and cons to that as well. So I would say do the Audible all at the same time. Now for the journals, it's just hardcover. There's no ebook. There's no paperback. Like I just kept it hardcover. People like that. They like to be able to hold it in their hands and write. So I just left it at that. And obviously there's no Audible to the journals. I don't know anyone actually, maybe they're out there, but I don't know anybody that does the audio version of their journals or their workbooks. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Well, I mean, I don't know, like what else, because it's been 2 years. So I feel like you were just starting your business.
Yes.
How's that going?
Great. It's so much fun. Like I obviously had the intention of, just helping people create this lifestyle where they can step out of this survival fear-based mode and shift into thriving and be able to be healthy. Like this vessel, we only got one of these. So if you don't take care of this, you are not going to be able to do what you want to do in this lifetime. So teaching people to take care of their body from a more holistic approach and bringing in like that spiritual aspect in that as well was a big motivator to me because it changed my life. And so I started off with just like e-courses, so digital courses. And then again, like your business is going to change based off like what the people are requesting. True. So people were like, oh, like, do you do coaching? And, are you doing groups? And do you do events? And like, it just started to create like this whole umbrella, which is cool. So I have digital and physical products. So I have the books, I have e-courses, I have the virtual wellness center, which is pretty much like an app where you can have me as your coach wherever, whenever. And I have other professionals that come on to teach as well. And then I was like, okay, the non-toxic lifestyle is a part of what I teach as well. And for me, being a cancer survivor, that obviously plays a big role in people getting sick and these nasty, disgusting products that people put on their body every single day and actually do make you sick. I said, okay, I want to create, I intuitively channeled this. I created essential oil infusions, which then kind of just, I created a holistic shop. So like now I have gua sha tools, I have essential oil infusions, rosemary castor oil. And so that developed into, and it's just easier for people when I'm like, oh, like I recommend this, or, you know, I have like my favorite holistic brands and products and things like that. So that's cool. And then it shifted into me doing public speaking, workshops, live events, classes, and it's just been a lot of fun to see kind of what it's developed in. I would say the main thing, if you are going into becoming an entrepreneur, don't be so rigid and don't be so controlling over what you think your business is meant to be. Number one, consistency, like never give up, keep going. Number two, listen to your intuition and those desires and don't let fear get in the way. And number three, just release the grip. And again, I expanded to something that I never thought would be even like possible, and I just kind of let it happen. And so it's like blown up since then. Created the podcast, which hello, what's up? Which is amazing. And I have professionals literally from all over the world come on to my podcast and share their profession, share what they learn, share how they help people. And it's been the coolest thing to see. Again, it's in terms of like, how can we help you become the best version of yourself through personal development, through different tools and, you know, a different lifestyle. Like there is another way to live. We all don't need to be stuck in this box of what society tells us that we need to be. So that's cool. And then I got married, which is so fun.
True. So how's that going?
Married life is great. My husband's awesome. He's so supportive. He's also an entrepreneur. So it's like funny when I'm going off the handles, he's holding me down. And when he's going off the handles, I'm holding him down. The other day, he was like freaking out about something. Like his nervous system was so dysregulated. I was like, hold up, I got you. He was like driving in the car. I was like, listen to this. And I sent him part of my 4-week nervous system regulation and reset program. And it was just a simple video. He's like, holy shit, that actually helped. So it's cool.
That's so funny. Yeah. Oh man. I could probably use some of that.
Yes, everyone needs it. So that's cool. Yeah, and we're just like having a really good time and seeing kind of like where life takes us, and yeah, can't complain. So that's where we're at. And that's what I got for you all today. So thanks for joining in. Thanks for listening for another episode. You can find all the goodies on holistichumanperformance.co. You can find the books on the website, which will just lead you to Amazon. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.